Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel, welcome back to Rimworld. So we're continuing off and we've got our village sort of set up as at the basic level here. It's already getting a little bit chilly, it's 15 degrees Celsius outside, so we're going to want to make sure that we're getting some stuff done pretty quickly to make sure people are a little bit warmer. One of the things that we do need to do is actually go into here and build ourselves an extended office area. I think this ought to be good enough, and we can build it like this. I'll save us a little bit of wood, and then go like this. So this is going to be our extended office area. We'll go ahead and the first thing we want to produce when we're in a cold area, because we do want to keep this slightly educational still, is a tailor's bench, which is going to go over there. And we also need to increase our power, so let's go ahead and get another one of these here for now. And another one of those there. So, like, we've got a lot of stuff that needs to get done. One of the things that I'm going to do is also put our food production on hold for just a little bit here, because we've got enough food to last us a little while with these 30 meals here. So that's fine. We can go ahead and pause both of these, so we'll suspend that. And what's going to happen is we'll have a little bit more hands on deck as far as all our stuff goes. And hopefully that will work well for us. What the hell is this stuff? It's meat. That's kind of gross, but whatever. We'll go ahead and unban that metal there as well. So what we want to do is make sure that we get everything up and running so that we can get some heaters up. One of the things that's interesting that they've added is these vents to temperature control. So we can actually go in and start working on those now. So we can add in a vent here, 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 and here, and what's going to happen is the temperature is going to be shared between these different rooms. So if I put in like a heater over here, the hot air is going to travel from one room to the other without these people feeling like they're in the same room. So that's going to help out a little bit as far as, you know, we don't need heaters taking up electricity in every single room. I mean, we could put one at the every other room maybe. We'll see how it works out, how these people are feeling. If it's nice and still warm despite that, then we don't need to worry too much about it, but we'll see. So yeah, the only one that hasn't been made is the one that's in the room that's going to have the actual heaters in it, but we'll check the temperature and see how it's going. It's 19 degrees indoors right now, which is not that bad. And we've got people coming in here. One of the other things that's been added here is, if we go into our overview, there's the timetables, and like, someone was saying that I should have showed us this, but I'll show it off just for the hell of it, but like, you can organize when people do certain things, like, and make it so that our morning is leisure time for everybody, and then every other time is just work. You know, just go like that, and it's going to be an awful slave-driven schedule here. You can actually just do one and then copy and then paste, so it's just like paste. But I haven't actually figured out why you would necessarily want to do that. Adding a little bit of time so that they're definitely relaxing at a certain time doesn't really feel as though it's that necessary to me. Like, you don't particularly need people to work at specific times and relax at specific times, because what matters is they're going to be working for that amount of time regardless. Ed is using her morning relaxation time to eat, and Chili over here actually seems to like, I think he must like research or something. Actually, I don't know why he's doing that. But yeah, so they spend a little time in the morning doing whatever. One of the nice things about the steel horseshoe when they decide to do that is it makes their shooting a little bit better too, so there is that benefit. And yeah, I mean, things are going along relatively okay. We just have to make sure that we get everything set up before things get too cold for us and we get murdered by the weather, which would suck. Alright, so let's go ahead and add this in here. We're going to bring it around the front, I think, because we also want to bring this up to here and in through here this way. So we're going to need quite a bit of iron all in all for all this, but that's, I mean it's enough that we've got it. So I'm not sure how we're doing on wood, so we're going to go ahead and put an order in to chop a little bit more. Trees seem to be growing back slower in this patch than they were in previous editions, although that's probably because the growing season's more limited for here. You can see it's already 7 degrees outside, so it gets cold pretty quickly when you're in these tundra biomes, and I mean, it's part of the challenge of this sort of area, and it's why one of the reasons I didn't set it too hard. I find it's a little bit harder on cold maps as opposed to hot desert maps. Desert maps are probably a little bit easier than the cold maps, but hard to say for sure. There's some tortoise leather over here. We're going to be able to make some shirts out of that, and it's important for us to be able to make clothes pretty soon, because we have got a guy who's running around, as far as I can tell, completely naked. Manabu over here, let's check his clothes. Yeah, he is completely naked. He's got a knife, but I mean, that's just disturbing. It's a naked man running around with a knife. That's just wrong. I mean, if you're ever going to run around with a knife, have some decency, put some clothes on. That's my stance on that particular issue. We need to get this guy off that lousy non-bed that he's on there. Let's wait till he wakes up and then deconstruct that. We don't want to wake him up. I mean, he's sleeping peacefully, and he's pretty happy about that, so we'll do that, and now he'll sleep on the bed. It's kind of weird that they don't automatically just be like, no one's using this bed. They're just like, oh, no, this isn't my assigned bed. As a criminal here, I should probably just, like, leave it be. But no, he's just like, Yeah, so apparently they're very polite criminals or something. I don't know. They're not even technically criminals. They're prisoners here, but they're not criminals. I mean, let's face it. I'm not a legitimate authority here. I'm not the government. I'm not the man. We're like a colony of hippies. We've got like a beer growing operation or whatever. Like people just are very communal. It's clearly like some sort of hippie thing. All right, so let's go ahead and let our bills for this we want to let our bills for this probably go into circulation again, because we got a little bit of meat here, I guess. Got Ed playing the horseshoes. Alright, so Ed's going to start making meals again. That's fine. I don't really care about that necessarily. We're going to have a hard time keeping this area heated properly, but that should be okay. Alright, bulk goods traders passing by. That's fine. We don't have to worry about that. Right, and I need a bit of cabling down to here. Oh, no, that's going to actually hook up. That's apparently far enough. Interesting. Okay. Have we got enough iron? Probably. We don't have a huge amount of stuff being done as far as that goes. But I mean, you know, we probably don't need that wood, but he's getting it chopped down with his knife fast enough. So that's not a huge problem. Okay, we got Forbes recruited our friend here, so let's go ahead and to hit overview. We don't want this guy hunting because A, he doesn't have a weapon, and because B, we don't want two people hunting ever, just because there's too many friendly fire incidents when that happens. So he's going to go ahead and, you know, apparently just sit there by himself. You can go ahead and just copy our timetable and paste it for him. We kind of want to have a homogeneous schedule for everybody. That way people are kind of in sync. Everyone's doing their thing at the right times. People are awake at the same time as with one another so that they have the maximum chance to socialize and all that. And I think that sort of works out well. Like, they don't even follow it necessarily all that stringently. So yeah, Ed and Forbes, they're having a nice little conversation. That helps. Manabu and Ed are now talking. I noticed that Ed seems to take the most time, like, in relaxation and stuff like that. Chili over there getting better at shooting. But we'll see how things progress here. One of the other things that I'm going to have to do is add some power switches here. I don't know if I want to put it here necessarily. Like, this would be our main power on-off. The thing is that we always want to have the power on into this general area. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to put it up here. And what this lets me do is I can cancel the power into the heater. So if it's cool, I can cancel all the heaters in this area without having to individually switch off the heaters. This area always wants power, so there's no point in getting a switch here. And this this building I could do the same thing for, so that's fine. So in here we can see it's 21 degrees, and if we go across here, these rooms should be starting to heat up. So this one's 15, 20, 15, 13, 11, and then this one's all the way down at 10. So we do need another heater, it looks like, definitely. So we'll add one into our friend Svejgard's room. And what should happen is that, like, this room and this room should be getting a little bit cross heat, and it should end up being a little bit better. We might need another one in the middle, but that's sort of what we want to go for here, is that cross of heat just sort of moving from room to room and making it so that everyone's a little bit warmer than if everyone was sort of on their own. Alright, so I feel like we've gotten that a little bit handled. Let's go ahead and get our guys harvesting all this, because they don't seem to be actually willing to harvest our crops for some reason. And they certainly as hell aren't willing to haul it for some reason, but whatever. I think, yeah, I saw some deer down here, so we're going to go ahead and hunt as well, since we got things relatively under control. I mean, it's not as bad as it was before. Is there anything else? There's some muffalo down here. Okay, is there any other deer or anything like that elsewhere on the map? I don't really see any, so yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, so we got ourselves our heating in these rooms here. We got 21 degrees, 16 degrees, 15 in the center, and that's probably going to be okay, because even in the colder parts of winter, it's going to be a little bit like that. Like, we could add another heater in Forbes' room, and that's probably going to be a good idea, but I mean, for now, that's okay. Let's go into our bills. We want to make something that's relatively warm, so we're going to do 5 button-down shirts, and we don't care what they're made out of. We're just going to have those. We're going to up-prioritize that even just a little bit. We got a couple people who are good at tailoring, so we're going to up-prioritize it for Forbes, and we're going to turn it off for our oaf over here, Manabu. And that is going to be relatively okay. We've almost got this research, so we can plug that up, get that done. Slave traders nearby. Well, we don't have enough money. I mean, we've got 797 silver. We got some gold, but we have to trade that for silver first. Looks like Forbes is getting to work on that shirt. Fantastic. And people will start automatically wearing whatever clothes is available. So Manabu will probably go and get a button-down shirt as soon as that finishes. Alright. It's looking good. So we could start thinking about creating another joy thing. Like, we could build a billiards table in our this area, but the thing is we need some cloth as well. We need like wood, cloth, and iron, so it's a fairly complex building, but I mean, that's pretty much fine. In fact, we do want some textile production, so we're going to go ahead and change this, or add this, and we're going to make this into a cotton plant grouping thing, whatever. And we could actually start building Devil Strand stuff as well, but I mean, it's such a short growing season that's going to be really hard to do that on this particular map until we've gotten a heated, manually lit area. Once we've got that, it's going to be fine, but until then, it's going to be a little bit awkward, so we're going to leave things as they are for now. Alright, we got geothermal, which is what we want for now. We want to get stuff done, so we're not going to worry too much about changing our base up for that. We're just going to let that happen. Let's go jump to these cargo pods. That's just berries. We're growing berries, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to like drag that in here. And I think that it's getting cold enough that our berries are not growing properly, but that's fine. We don't seem to have any hops in here either. Alright, so let's go ahead and start adding wood floors to whatever we can. Just because it looks good. And of course also it helps with our happiness and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. And we are going to need more wood for that, but I mean, that's fine. Perfectly fine. If we can find any trees, which we might not be able to. There they are. We're not in like a forested tundra area, so the trees are a little bit more sparse. Alright. Got Ed meditating over here, I think. Praying, yeah. Solar flare, that's gonna shut down all my electricity, that's fine, but it's a little bit awkward when it's this cold out. You can see that it's 2 or 3 degrees outside, so that's gonna suck. And also, it means that we're not getting this shirt done, which we really want to get done. On the plus side, I mean, they got plenty of time to start putting together those floors, which are probably not that important in the grand scheme of things, but whatever. Alright. So we're probably going to need to buy more chocolate pretty soon. I think we're out. Yeah, we're out. And that steel shiv is awful looking. That's fair. Slave trader, that's not going to help us here. One of the things I forgot to do that someone mentioned is, like, I forgot to change this to not include foods. that's about all we need to do as far as changing that goes. Oh, that's over, so that's fine. We still have no power because the geothermal hasn't kicked in partly, but that's okay. Does mean that people have nice warm rooms to sleep in at night. I mean, the worst one's going to be Forbes here. It's at 9 degrees Celsius. That's a little bit too low. One of the other things we could optionally do is we can increase the insulation to his room so that everyone's got slightly thicker rooms. I just don't think that that's overly practical. We're just going to add in another heater in Forbes' room here so that he doesn't get too cold. Alright, so how close is that to done? That's going pretty quickly, you know. Probably don't really need to be doing all these floor tiles, but I kind of feel like it makes it look so much nicer. It's a vanity project, ultimately. Well, not entirely, I mean... Visitors? Okay. Got some people stopping by saying hello. Alright, we got Manabu, who's switching his shirt and vomiting all over the place for some reason. That's our trade stockpile, man. It's gross. Alright. So hopefully we'll get these shirts done pretty quickly. I mean, I think we've got some other people who need them. We could kill people and take their clothes. That's also an option. Manabu, why are you puking everywhere? He's got a bite scar, but he's not actually sick. Yeah, I don't know. He's not as naked anymore, but I mean, he's still naked. Well, that's the thing, so... Why was your health that bad? He's really hungry. His rest is going up. His joy is absolute shit. So he's going to have to do something to have fun with his life. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to let people just take as much time as they want doing whatever they think they need. And that is going to be how we deal with this, because some people, it looks like, are really unhappy. And I feel like it's partly because we haven't really done anything to prevent people from... Or our schedule makes it so that people who don't have the time to do everything they want to do are getting kind of screwed over by the schedule. Alright, so we got another shirt. That's good. What are the qualities of those? They're shoddy. I mean, that's... it's not ideal, but I mean, it'll work where necessary. So we just got a good bit of stockpile of shirts going. Then we'll start working on pants pretty soon after. Oh, man, there's vomit right by the cooking station. That's gross. We're gonna have somebody, like, prioritize cleaning, I think. Ed the Surgeon, I think, is a good choice for that. Ed the Surgeon is also going to be good for art. So that is something that I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that I didn't do too much in the other ones. I believe it adds joy, but I'm not 100% on that. Alright. Ed's cleaning up a little bit, and the person we've assigned to clean up a little bit is not. I think that we're not getting these jobs done because we don't have enough metal mined. It looks like that is indeed the case, so we'll go ahead and do that, just because we want that geothermal. Although it looks like I got the right ratio of solar collectors for our power for a little while, so that's also okay. Let's see here. Forbes room's 11 degrees Celsius. That's not too bad. Over here, 15, and it's 20 in here. It'll probably stay pretty stable as far as that goes. I mean, I kind of want to get something done in the kitchen areas to heat it up a bit, but it's not necessarily going to be the easiest. Did I accidentally get Ed to do the cleaning? Oh wait, Ed the Surgeon is the cook. Shit. Was not paying attention to that. Okay, so who's not important? Manabu, you don't have anything prioritized up, so we'll have you clean. Great, there we go. And you're the one who vomited everywhere, so I mean, like, it's only fair. Alright, so we got some more shirts. That's great. That's fantastic. I think that that's our shirt build just about done. Yes, that is completely done. So we're going to add a bill. We're going to have him make some pants. And we're also going to have to get him to start making some actual full-on dress shirts pretty quickly, pretty soon. Alright, so got the heater in here. That's going to throw off our energy balance a little bit. Hopefully we'll still be able to last a night with that, but I'm a little bit less hopeful. Alright, we got our hops in, and we want to make sure that we've got our brewing station for that. Although, I forgot, like, I think we might actually have to research that first. So let's go ahead and research that. They'll make people a little bit happier. Forbes over there making pants. We'll also have to start making some parkas or jackets otherwise. Just because we don't want to... We want to make sure that we're actually quite warm over the winter. I mean, I could actually make a fully enclosed building or installation, and that would be fine. But I don't know if that's necessarily the most practical of things. But yeah, I mean, we've already fixed some of the naked problem. It's just not all the naked problem. I mean, there's still people who are not wearing clothes, obviously. But yeah, I mean, things are chugging along. It's on easy, so it's to be expected. It's not going fantastically, horrifically wrong. And hopefully, we'll be able to get lots done here. Alright. So one of the things that I could actually do is just make this a fully enclosed indoors installation. And to do that, we would need a lot more wood, for one thing. And I mean, I'm not sure that I want to, but it's an option. Like, the thing about when you're on a cold map, it's a lot easier to insulate properly because you want to add heat to everywhere, which is harder than trying to cool everywhere because the cooling has to vent to outside. So as you get further and further in, it gets harder and harder to vent the heat out. And I mean, you can eventually just be like, okay, we're just going to have like 5 cooling things that vent the heat into here, and then those vent like the heat out to here, and then those vent the heat out to there. That takes a lot more energy. With these ones, it's just like you have heaters, like, and they sort of keep the heat in, and it's a lot easier. But I mean, with the vents, that makes it a little bit easier anyway, since you could have it cool in certain places, and then it sort of moves outwards. But yeah, it's just a lot harder. And hopefully we're going to actually have enough leather of various sorts to make all of our different suits of clothes that we're going to need. But I'm not sure if we do. Especially not if it's just like all tortoise leather that they're trying to make this out of. Like, what the hell? Is this all tortoise leather down there? That, I don't know what this is. Squirrel skin. Okay, well, that's a thing. The thing is, I don't think there's actually any tortoises that I can hunt here, but whatever. I wonder if you can make a blend. Squirrel skin. Oh, that's all squirrel skin. Huh, alright, well. Let's go ahead and we're going to disable that for now. We've got plenty of meals. And one thing is that this means that Ed's going to start killing the muffalo, and that's going to get us a little bit of muffalo leather, which is good. Alright, so how warm is something like Ed's room? 17 degrees, 18 degrees. I mean, like, that's actually pretty good. It saved us 2 heating utensils or whatever you want, or I don't know what they call them. Not utensils, but heating radiators? Heaters? Heaters. Sure. And that saves us a lot of energy in the long run, especially once we get more people and I can just sort of build rooms that are going to require the heat going that way, and that'll be fine. That'll be easy. Alright. So, yeah, that is a look at Rimworld. I don't know if it's changed so very much, but like that joy thing, it does mean that your villagers or whatever are going to be doing a little bit more that is not actually getting work done. And like every time that a new update comes by, where like it adds stumbling around drunk, for instance, and stuff like that, or what have you, it makes it just a little bit slower. It makes it a little bit harder to get anything done. It means that your villagers are screwing around just that little extra. And I mean, it makes the game a little bit harder ultimately because they're a little bit less productive. I'm not sure if there was anything done to counterbalance that, but I don't feel as though there is really. So, I mean, the game is a little bit harder. I might have to do another guide based on how to play the game on harder difficulties. But as it is, I think that this is a perfectly valid and fun way to play the game from time to time. It's just you put it on easy and you just coast. And it's, like, fun and it's fine. I don't mind it. Alright, we're going to have a battery in the work area. We'll have a couple batteries, in fact, in our work area. And that should be a good idea. Let's do that. So we got some pants built up, and I'm not sure who was pantless, but I think that he must have gotten himself a pair. Yes, he has. Okay, so we're building extras though because we know that our clothes are going to degrade to the point where our people are just going to be like, I feel unhappy because my clothes is all degraded, and we'll have to spend a lot of time building replacement clothes, and that's going to be another thing that has to be done. So, like, it's a lot of stuff like that, but, I mean, it's still definitely possible, it's still definitely playable, it's just harder if you happen to, you know, not want to have to manage quite as much stuff. But, that's fine, that's fine. So, anyway, I hope you found this video enjoyable, and of course, as always, I hope to see you all next time.